In fact, digitization, in my opinion, not only in my, I think, is not about technology or not mainly about technology, but about the culture. Some new ideas, some new technologies are arriving much quicker than the models of the organization change. It's not that basing on data is enough. It's not that intuition is enough. I think that both of them, plus huge determination and mobilization of the teams.
Welcome to Impact Leaders with Magda Petryniak. My today's guest is Bożena Leśniewska, Executive Vice President at Orange Poland. Bożena, welcome to the studio.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It is a pleasure. I've been observing your impressive career and path over the last years. It's been almost or even over 20 years in telecommunication sector, in technology sectors. Please tell me more about your recent big endeavor, a big initiative that you led at Orange, which was the business transformation. What are you the most proud of in this story?
Oh, well, it's a very long story.
Yeah.
So if we are talking about the last years, I think that I'm most proud from the fact that being Chief Enterprise Officer, the Vice President of the Management Board in Orange Polska in charge of business market, I did a huge transformation together with my teams from being the telco, which means providing the telecommunication services to businesses and the institutions in Poland, and from being the telco to being a partner in digital transformation. Being an IT provider, one of the biggest in Poland, integrator, provider of the digital services, which accompany and are merged with the telecommunication services. This means that we are supporting the companies to go through the transformation, their own transformation, which is totally different depending on the branch, depending on the character of the business. And it means that the full portfolio of the services, full chain of the digital transformation had been created or has been created, because it's all the time ongoing process for transforming businesses, companies, to provide to their customers, the consumers, the more digital services, more modern services, more innovative business models also. So this was really a big change. It took more or less last 7-8 years, starting with the idea that we want to be the company that supports the change of business in Poland.
I hear you. I do believe that for most customers, Orange is like the great example of such transformation. Can you take us back in this line of 6, 7, 8 years? What were these critical stepping stones to transform from IT, from telecommunication company, to a services provider? What would you think these critical initiatives along the way were to help you build this portfolio, build capabilities, build also the offering?
First of all, it's worth to mention that Orange in general, Orange Polska has been in the transformation since I'm there. It's I think already soon it will be 18 years. So it was the company, the legacy company, the company that went step by step through the change from being in old-time state-owned company into modern, innovative company providing the services which are adequate, which are compatible with the change of the world, with digital environment. And this was done through the sequence of the strategies. And I think it was very wise from the perspective of Orange, first to analyze properly where we are, who we are, what are the main parameters of the business, then to fix the basis, to arrange the company around the main priorities, to do the huge and severe cost cutting, because the optimization and modernization required a lot of investments also. Then we became one of the biggest investors in Poland, building the infrastructure, fiber infrastructure, mobile infrastructure, and so on. And after all these stages, we started to think about the growth also in new areas. And from the consumer market perspective, it was the Orange initiated in Poland the convergent approach, which was followed by all other operators at the market, and not only in Poland, obviously. Orange started to think about monetization of fiber and using it for the growing data consumption, which is obvious that it's very, very necessary. And in business area, for business, we started to think how to grow also in the areas where were not the typical telecommunication areas. So we went into domains which were initially very close by creating the company Integrated Solutions, 100% owned by us and created by us, but with the ambition to add to the telco services also some other services, like everything around cybersecurity, and now we are in the top among the top providers of the cybersecurity across all the data journey, starting from the network and finishing on the application layer. Then we added also some stuff which became crucial for the digital transformation, like migration to cloud, like services based on cloud. Then in 2019, we bought the software house, Bluesoft, the company that brought us to the interaction with the customers, which are really about the transformation, because the transformation is in the applications, is in software. Then in 2020, we decided to enlarge the scope with the CRMs. So we bought the Craftware, the company which is specialized in this area, especially in the Salesforce technology. So step by step, we added the new part of this value chain just to become end-to-end provider of the transformation. Looking at the main elements, it was the wise strategy, started from fixing the basis, then building the base that allowed us to invest in the market, and then set the strategy of growth in the traditional area, but also adding the new areas, adding also elements of the cultural transformation. In fact, digitization, in my opinion, not only in my, I think, is not about technology or not mainly about technology, but about the culture, about how the companies, how the businesses, how people, how employees, how also all the stakeholders are ready and open for the innovation, for the change, for stopping something and starting something new, for risk, for opening their mind into the uncertainty, because some new ideas, some new technologies are arriving much quicker than the models of the organization change. So step by step, Then, after setting this growth strategy, we decided also to build the so-called ICT leg, which became very important for business market at the moment. When we look through the perspective of numbers and measures, IT and integration services and digital services represent 36% of all the B2B revenue in Orange. But when you look at the speed of the transformation, it's quickest in the upper segments of the market, so among the biggest companies and institutions. So in these segments, it's already 67%. So it means that IT and integration services are more present in these areas than the classical telecommunication services. So in this way, we became not only the biggest telco at the market, but also the third biggest capital IT group. So very, very huge progress. Step by step, adding also the acquisition, adding the building new competence, adding the change of the culture, adding the everything around reskilling and upskilling people. It worked for this transformation, and it's why I can be proud today that we are, in fact, the provider of the digitization and transformation in Poland.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive story, Bożena. And I know that the success metrics are impressive as well, you know, in terms of turnover, in terms of adding new markets. Are there any metrics you would like to bring to the table to actually showcase that maybe many companies are thinking about it, but, you know, to realize such a plan, it's not easy. However, it pays off.
Well, I think what was interesting in the transformation, which I initiated with the new strategy in 2017, was creating a very bold and ambitious goal, which was that time totally unrealistic for majority of the people who knew the business, understood the business, and grew with the business. So this ambition goal was to double within 3 years the revenue coming from ICT. All the people around, experts said, experts, internal experts, which means that people who lived in a certain format, in certain way of thinking, in the certain context, they said it's impossible. I was new at this position. I moved from the B2C market to B2B. And at the beginning, I felt that everybody is waiting till the moment when I realized that probably now I understand much enough to change my mind. But I didn't. My roots were also from B2B. I saw what's going on at the market. I read quite a number of the reports. I met few consultants and asked them about the forecasts, and I monitored the market, and I said, okay, somebody will do it. Why not us? And we decided to put to the strategy this ambitious goal. We managed to do it quicker. Now we are proud that comparing to that period, we are at the level 4.5 times more revenues from this business without cannibalizing the core business, which grew also during this time by a few percent. So while talking about the measures, I could put a list of plenty of achievements in terms of our position at the market, in terms of our revenues coming from the particular area of business, like software, like cloud, like security, like networking, communication, digital workspace, and so on, so on. So all of them are impressive, because otherwise we wouldn't have this overall growth. But in my opinion, while talking about success, it's important to go back to this initial stage. when we set really ambitious target and when we decided step by step to go consequently in this direction.
I am astonished by your bold vision, but also perseverance and determination to follow it. And you just described multiple elements in this transformation story: strategy, setting healthy foundations, mergers and acquisitions, building the company culture. From a leader, and I would love you to share some stories for other people who are listening and they're maybe in similar positions, they are heads of transformation. How do you set your mindset and your priorities? Where to start? Like from a leader's perspective, what do you think was the most critical for you when you started and you painted the vision? How do you focus on the right elements in this process?
Well, in fact, you never know if they are right or no. You can easily judge it from the perspective when already success arrived and when you see that it was good choice. But in fact, the deep analysis of the situation of the telecommunication market at that time showed that there is the huge competition, huge impact of regulator, and telco market is quite regulated. So a lot of things happens not only on the business basis. Then it was the initial phase of the investment in fiber, so it was very difficult to monetize something that didn't exist. And we already knew, everybody knew in Europe, in Poland as well, that the data consumption will be bigger and bigger. So due to it, the quality of the internet is very important, and the capacity of internet is very important. But the investment took time, and they always take time. So knowing it and seeing that what's going on at the market, there was a huge need to find something additional. And it was the first imperative, the first driver of thinking. Then there is a lot of forecast, a lot of analysis of the market, a lot of examples from other markets, which in digitalization were a little quicker or earlier advanced than Poland, like Nordics, than some Western European countries. And due to this analysis, it turned out that it would be worth to try with ICT, worth to try. But obviously, that time, the forecast of the growth of the ICT market were at the CAGR, the yearly growth at the level of 5 to 6%. And setting the target to double the revenue within 3-4 years was much, much above the market trends. But we created the list also of the competence, of the qualification which we need. We created the list of the things which we have to stop to do because some technologies become old-fashioned or they will disappear step by step from the market. So it gave us some forecast, some imagination, I would say, of how what would be our resources, and then what should we do, and in which area. Then we started thinking about the M&As, so analysis of the market, analysis of what the digital transformation really means, because it means something different for each branch and each company. And when we discovered it, it was very risky. I remember that when we created the strategic plan for 4 years, I think, there were some 7 or 8 risks mentioned in this plan. And I think that 5 were around this new bold business. They didn't materialize, fortunately. And now we are happy, and we repeated the next wave of the growth in the next strategy, which we created in 2021.
If I can ask, if you see the list of risks presented, and there's a potential for, them happening, do you rely more on your intuition or data?
I think both. Both are important. Basing on data, we should define the growth a little above the market. So it would be maybe 10%, maybe a little more. But basing on some, I don't know if it's intuition or if it's experience, if it's knowledge of the business or some internal desire to do something what is significant, to change the world or change the company or to create the environment which make people thinking differently, looking for the new solutions. All these things merge together, give this effect. It's not that basing on data is enough. It's not that intuition is enough. I think that both of them, plus huge determination and mobilization of the teams, because setting the strategy is the easiest part. Delivery is much more difficult, and delivery depends on people who are engaged, who believe in it, and who want to deliver.
That's a very important element that you're mentioning right now. First of all, I believe you're saying it is the mission and the mindset of the leader to do something compelling, to do something impactful, to do something big. And the other element is kind of igniting that culture of curiosity, growth, being bold in the organization. Can you share briefly how do you build such culture, especially that you were merging, you were adding new companies, integrated solutions, BlueSoft. How do you make this cultural transformation happen?
Here there are few layers. First of all, Orange as a group, Orange here in Poland has been through this cultural transformation from the legacy mindset to the innovative mindset for many, many years. So this is the good context that the whole company is in the change. And the part of this company, which is B2B market, on one hand was a part of it, a part of the reskilling processes, building the vision, and then path to realize this vision of the competence of the future. So this is all the time ongoing process. On the other hand, I did something what is rather not usual and not classical approach while buying the company, especially from a little different business. IT business is different than telecommunication business. The rules are different. I would say it's very different, not only a little, but very different. So buying the new company, usually the buyer tried to integrate, to make it one company, for the efficiency, for the cost optimization, for the better usage of the synergies. I decided not to do it. Having in mind that these businesses are different, I decided, and it was our agreement also with the companies that we purchased, that they will run their business like they did before, but being closer, having the common account planning, having common approach to the customers, understanding each other's business, but without hard merge, without the one management. The managers from these companies decided to stay with us, to continue the business. They found, they perceived this merge as potential for growth for them as well. So we keep the culture of each and every company. They are the legally separate companies with their management board, and they build their they work differently also between each other. Though all of them represent the widely called IT business, they are different. Software company is different than integrator, which is integrated solutions, and even than the relatively young Craftware. And obviously, they are very, very different from the classical big corporation like Orange. And it gave us a good results, good effect, because we learned from each other. We looked at some behaviors, way of working in these new, much smaller companies. They looked at us. Each of us appreciated, on one hand, very free and spontaneous model. On other hand, well-set procedures that help also with, for instance, bigger customers, big deals, when we build the partnership ecosystem, and so on and so on. This was quite unique. But the most important thing was that the people on all sides wanted to do a big step forward, wanted to be associated or wanted their own private success to be associated with the big change. And this big change was really to become the partner in transformation of business.
Mm-hmm. Being the person that is driven by realizing big projects, big initiatives, sometimes, you know, it's associated, or it requires also this kind of acceptance of mistakes. How do you approach it? And maybe what do you think that you would do differently this time around? Are there any mistakes that you may share that can, you know, help our audience plan their transformation plan?
I don't know if I would call it mistake, but for sure the common problem of big companies, especially corporate way of thinking, is short-term versus long-term. Very often the owners, the shareholders accept the results, the progress, the growth from quarter to quarter, from semester to semester, and this huge focus on the short-term results sometimes limits the really big growth and big jump into the future. It took me really a lot of time to convince our owners, to convince the shareholders that integration business and digital business is something for telco. To some extent, everybody knew that we need to look for something new, but in fact, why IT? Do we know it? Do I understand it? The culture is different, as I mentioned before. The rules of the business are different. It's in some areas much more based, especially in software, on people. It's definitely people business, and we, as Telco, are the infrastructure company, and this is the main base of the business. Somewhere in between, we are integrators. So each and every area is a little different. So the mistakes that very often are done by the big companies is to be locked in the short-term approach. These ones, and it was fortunately our case, who are able to risk and believe that it's worth to try, can reach really, really big results. If I look back, I think that we should buy at least 2 more companies. For our owners, it seemed to be too quick. First, we needed to prove, we needed to show that it works, that we can do it, and then there was the openness for new acquisitions. We were lucky also because the Poland speed up with the digitization just after COVID, and it was very helpful to grow and to go into this business. So referring directly to your questions, I think that the first thing that companies and us also thought about was how to be bold and have big idea for the future and be patient enough to wait for the results which are coming with some delay. Then to be open for innovation and for the risk that is connected with such new ideas and in general with innovation. And thirdly, to be ready to change the culture.
I hear you. You're mentioning the speed up of digitization of the Polish companies, Polish economy right after the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. I wonder, do you think the pace of digitization will stay the same, will grow? What are you seeing right now at the markets? Are there any kind of forces that help to digitize companies more, or there is some kind of hesitation and leaders of companies are still like hesitant to go into digitization?
This is very dynamic and quickly changing area, because I mentioned that just after COVID, maybe 21, 22, they were the golden times for the growth, for IT, for digitization. There was readiness to invest. Then the Ukrainian war came and it changed the situation a lot. There was the less willingness to invest. External investors are hesitating still. We had the year 23 with the election, which impacted also some part of the business, which is still continued, like all the changes in the state-owned companies, in the politics. It impacted the public sector. We as integrated solutions are the second biggest provider of the integration services for a public sector. So for us, it's a moment of the slow down. And in general, the cost of running the business in Poland became quite high. So this year we see some outflow of the production companies from Poland, international production companies, due to the fact of the high cost of energy and high labor costs. So these factors a little disturb the very nice pace of growth in digitization which we had. We believe, and we already see that there is some new wave of the growth, especially since the moment when the KPO, the European funds, were released for Poland. So this is really supportive, and plenty of the businesses and institutions waited for this moment. So now there will be a struggle to use it properly, to spend this money, and for sure it will help the next stage of the digitalization. On the other hand, though, there was huge move in the DESI index done by the European Union, Digital Economic and Social Index. We are very, very low in the last 5 countries among the EU countries in terms of the digitization. So we still have a lot to do. We still have to think how the mid-sized businesses can progress, how the institutions can progress, because the majority of the investments and majority of the change is done by the biggest companies in Poland.
I hear you. Bożena, what's next for you? You have accomplished an amazing success with Orange. Are you still hungry for more?
I wouldn't say it's accomplished because this is the ongoing process. The most important thing is to make it sustainable, because it's not obvious. The hesitation of the market, some changes, the slowdown, it impacts us immediately. It's not the case in the telco business, which has totally different rules, which people treat the mobile phone on or internet access like the casual utility. It became the first need good. So people and companies, obviously, there is no way to run the business today without good internet and without the good mobility. But in IT, it's totally different. You can change your systems or not. You can create the new environment or to create the new software and applications or not. You can do the renovation, modernization or not. Or not now.
Sure.
Sooner or later, yes. But so in this case, we have to be careful and understand what are the rules and the changes. And so the most important challenge is how to make it, on one hand, sustainable, and on the other hand, further use the potential of the growth of Poland, because we are still lagging behind, not as a country, but as a business in Poland, behind the Nordics, behind Western Europe, with huge potential for growth, the migration to cloud, the good usage data, AI, transforming the business, new business model, more agility, more better usage of infrastructure, new way of works. All these things have been changing the way the business is run, and IT integration and digital services are as important as good connectivity and good communication. So we see the potential for growth. We are now working on the new strategy, the next level strategy, which we are going to announce at the beginning of the next year. And our thoughts around it and our plans around it are really, really bold.
Okay, so we will be observing the next steps you are taking in the corporation. In this series of interviews, of conversations, I always ask the same question to all the leaders I invite to the studio, and this refers to the famous talk by Clayton Christensen, "How will you measure your life?" So my regular question is around this, thinking much broader than just, corporate successes. Bożena, how do you define your mission as a human being, as a woman, as a business leader?
When I passed 40 something, I created the mission for the second part of my life. Because definitely it changes. And this was, I had a real reflection on it, and I wrote it down. And this mission is to help other people in business environment, in private life, in my social activities, help people to grow, to develop, to find the meaning, the purpose of their life or their purpose at work or in general. I believe that we are just human beings and we are the same person, and we have to be the same person at work and in our private life. So how to help people to find this meaning, to be happier, to live better, and thanks to it, to change the world. It may sound pompatic, but in my everyday life, I really do it. For the last years, I'm engaged as a mentor, as a co-author and lecturer at the Studies for Women in few associations that support people to grow and to develop. And it's my leadership mission in my work environment as well, where I work a lot not only on business, but also on supporting people to grow, to develop, to do the careers, and to find the good balance in their life, not just being the kind of slave or the person sold to business, but live with the life where the work is part of it.
You use the word empathetic. I would probably say it's very critical, it's very meaningful, it's very important mission. And I wonder why this one, help people find meaning and happiness in their life. Do you remember the moment when you first time realized, okay, I will use my potential, my energy, my resources, my experience, and bet on this? Was there maybe an event, meeting somebody, conversation? Was there something that really made your heart beat and you decided, okay, this is it. This is what I will spend time in this season of my life?
There are two things that I would mention answering to this question. One is this deep reflection about the second part of life. So when I already went through some career path, had some experience, reached something, I had a happy family life, already adult daughter, and how to fill the life with some, the second part of the life, with not just fight or journey through my personal and professional career, but also to have the meaning in this second part of life. And one of the things which I reflect on was how it happened that I'm here where I was that time. And I feel myself as a self-made woman. I, from the very casual family, rather poor, with no huge support. I never got just as a gift anything to make my life and all the story easy. My parents took care about providing me the education, which means that they really insist that I should go to study and so on. Well, that time was not very obvious. And when I discovered it and when I reflected in, I said, oh, maybe it would be good to help people who may go or maybe in the similar situation, though in different times, to make it easier for them. So this was something basing on my experience, that maybe it would be easier in my life sometimes if I had somebody to support me. And secondly, it happened to me that some people, especially ladies from work, not only from work, started to come to me. It was, I think, 15 years ago, and asking me, Bożena, could you help me? Could you meet me a few times to discuss? Because I would like to be bold like you are, or the independent like you are, or to, but also having a good job, good career, good progress, and I don't know how to do it, and it's what they asked me for. It was the time when the mentoring was almost unknown. It was not everywhere like now, and we even didn't dare to call it like this. But one day, people started to call it mentoring, and could you become my mentor? So I started to do it, and I found a lot of energy for me in it. And it brought me a lot of satisfaction. It was also for me I reflected and reminded my dilemma, my history, while talking to the people about their growth, their obstacles, their limitations, and so on. It was ladies, it was men. Then I decided to become a little more professional because I was afraid that it becomes so serious. We are touching such serious stuff sometimes related with not only professional life but also personal life with the internal limitations or some almost psychological stuff. And it's why I finished the mentoring academy. I certified myself initially at the foundation level, then advanced level, and it became an important part of my life to support people, to be the mentor. Then together with the association leader, She Women Association, we created the postgraduate studies for women to support them to grow from the mid-level management in their way to boards, to high-level managerial positions. And we already run this study at the Koźmiński University for since we've been running since 6 years. The sixth edition is finished already. So 2 moments, this is the reflection and also the external world coming to me and asking, share yourself, help us to make the life easier.
Sarah, it's super inspiring, and I can totally relate to your story, coming from a really regular family and really going all the way in my life. I was always looking for mentors, for people who could actually share their knowledge, conversation, but also not just the knowledge how to do things, but the belief in ourselves. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and probably hundreds of people that you have already helped. I have this challenging question for you in terms of these women programs, because there are some critics of why do we invest so much in women? Why do we create so many programs for women? Why only women programs in corporations? What do you think is the real need for such programs? Is it still today in 2024 that we need to invest in women?
Yes, I believe yes. All the statistics show that there is the progress, but it's not very quick. It goes quite slowly. When we look at the number of women at managerial position, number of women in some professions, especially in technology, it's still lagging behind the representation of men. And for me, the answer to the question why we are investing so much in women is very, very simple. If we believe, and it seems that more and more people believe that diversity is important, including the gender diversity, and if we believe that women bring the value into the business, so we should have more women also at this managerial position, also engage in the roles and area where they are now underrepresented. And why we don't have women? Because it's the heritage of the years and ages. There was the very traditional split of the roles, and it was natural that time. Meantime, the women started to be interested also with the industrialization, with the evolution, with the digitization, started to be interested also to be a part of the whole area of the life and business. So now we need to fill the gap. For ages, for years, we didn't educate women to be in this position. We didn't support women. So now we are trying in a short time to fill the gap from the hundreds of years, in fact. And it's why it's cumulated and it seems that it's so intense. But if it was done, this education, preparation, step-by-step careers for the hundreds of years, we wouldn't talk about it at the moment at all.
Yeah. You're interacting with many women across postgraduate studies, all those associations and networks. What do women need the most today to succeed in business?
I think that there are two things. One is to get rid of the internal limitations. They are still there. To be more bold, to dare to try, to be less risk averse, just not to put the limit on themselves. And secondly, the friendly environment, the environment that values the diversity, that gives a chance to grow, to develop, have the understanding and acceptance for the effort which is done, which is not always brings not always very quick results. So I think if these two things go together, and if the first one is supported by some mentors or by the good atmosphere to work, good environment, we can really impact the world and the change significantly.
I love it. And I do observe that movement in Poland as well. We have more and more initiatives, especially in this structural way. Now, new directive from European Union, Women on Boards, I think we hope will bring a significant race of women on boards. Yeah. Another one is those diversity inclusion initiatives, ESG projects, and projects and associations like yours that are lobbying, advocating, building foundation for creating this support environment. Yeah. I'm thinking more about this internal limitations because it sounds to me it's more difficult to overcome, to combat. Did you have such limiting beliefs about yourself, and what helps you to put your mind at the right state, if you can share with us?
Sure, I did. I was always a mixture of boldness, and then I was internally afraid that I'm going somewhere. It becomes a little dangerous. It's really for me. But the curiosity, which I believe is one of the most important features of all the leaders and all the people who want to innovate, to change, to work in the contemporary world, was stronger than this internal fear of doing something what is too risky. So the curiosity moved me forward to the new things which were unknown, which were uncertain. And then step by step, when I discovered that it was not a monster,
Yeah.
I did it. So it gave me the more and more confidence. And then I started to think that nothing confirms your trust in the success, future success, like the success which you already achieved. So if you do it step by step, if you reflect on it, if it's conscious, if you know yourself, I invested a lot in knowing myself, in understanding my drivers, my emotions, who I am, why I react like this. I went through some academies, from some courses also for leaders to focus on my emotional intelligence. And better we know ourselves, it's easier to do what we really love, what brings the success, and it's much easier to lead other people and to manage business.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that we speak more and more openly about this kind of self-development processes that leaders and everyone is going through. People share more openly about how they invest in learning more about themselves. What was the process, or maybe is still in your life that you cultivate a habit, a process, or activity that is giving you the biggest strength, or is helping you build your resilience and stay sane, stay calm in these quite turbulent times? Do you have like your ritual?
I try to live in balanced way, though I like working and I had workaholic time in my life for sure, but I never lost all priorities and important things in my life, like family, like my own satisfaction and happiness. So to be able to do it, I travel a lot. I would say I travel constantly, each free time, longer weekend, holidays. Now even the remote work I use for traveling, being in the new environment, being under the some impulses from the totally unknown sometimes environment and world and people. I have my places here in Poland at the seaside where I like to go for the weekend or for just few days to spend time close to the nature, close to the sea, wind, and just to relax and also to have a time for reflection. In the past, I liked mountains. I still like, but some time ago, years ago already, I climbed Kilimanjaro, for instance. It was great adventure, which gave the power, thank you very much, gave the huge power, because on one hand it's achievement, on the other hand it's an incredible adventure together with the group of other people. So obviously some things that are now very, very popular and even a part of the leadership programs, like meditation, like ability to breathe properly, just to have the control over the reaction and emotions. These are I think already standard.
Yeah.
So.
Bożena, I feel that talking to you it's such a fascinating story, and I would love to continue more and more and more. Allow me to name some of the identities, some of the lessons I learned from you. You as a leader, you as a mentor, explorer, traveler, activist. What is maybe the area or the identity we have not mentioned here, but you would like the audience, the listeners, to remember you for?
I think it's important to be happy. And the happiness or satisfaction of self-fulfillment, it's something different for everybody. For me, the most important thing is to be myself, to be authentic, never go in any roles, to be as I am with all my strengths and weaknesses. And then I do not need to pretend anything. It makes life very, very easygoing. Sometimes it's difficult when I meet bad people on the way, but I rather usually see the glass full half, not full empty, and it helps me a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing your incredible story and wisdom, and for being you in this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.